Okay guys, we're going to try and pick up where this last video cut off. I think I've got my YouTube problem fixed that I was having, but here's where the other video left off. So you want to ask yourself the question, how did the invention change the world? So this is important because the invention wouldn't have lasted or been used by people if it wasn't useful. So how is toilet paper useful? Well, I prefer, as I said to you, they were using pieces of wood and pine cones and different things to wipe their bottom. That doesn't sound very comfortable, and it also doesn't sound very clean. So I think inventing toilet paper was very important for one big reason. It is a better way to clean yourself than using wood or pine cones. Okay? As you can tell, it's definitely something that people don't want to be without, and that's why during this Corona thing, people went out and bought so much toilet paper, I guess. So, I can't think of another reason. So it's so important that people were buying toilet paper instead of buying food. So people like their toilet paper. So I think people prefer to use the clean toilet paper over other things. Now it's time for me to come up with a wrap-up sentence. Now, as you know, I said Joseph C. Gaiety invented toilet paper was my main idea. My wrap-up sentence needs to be something like that. I don't maybe need to say his name again, but I need to rephrase it in a different way. So I'd like to say something that has some feeling to it. I know what I'll write. I think toilet paper was a great invention. I'm going to write that. You can write an I think statement here. I think that's important. So I think toilet paper was a great invention. And I'm going to put an exclamation mark on that because I have great feeling with that. Now, it's time for me to go and write my paper. Now, remember, when we write our papers, we use our organizers to write our paper. Now, I'm running out of good line paper at home, and I'm going to bet you guys are too. And guess what? That doesn't matter. We can write on the back of an envelope if we need to. It just doesn't matter. We can just write on anything. In fact, you can write this on a wipe-off board as long as you're getting good practice. Now, if you look, can I just write 1810? Can I just write 1895? No, I'm going to have to turn some of these little tiny facts into sentences. I didn't already make them sentences in my organizer. So it's very important that I think about how to do that as I'm writing. But as you remember, our first sentence, sentence number 1, is always our focus or main idea sentence. It's the same thing. And it's what our whole paper is going to be about. So I'm going to start off with that. Oh, I'm going to use a 2-finger indent. Remember putting 2 fingers down and indenting? And I'm going to copy my sentence just from the center. So, Joseph C. Gaiety. Oh, look, I even used capital letters for his name. Did you see that? Joseph C. Gaiety. Ooh, and then I can wrap all the way back around. Invented toilet paper. Now, do you remember my indent? Do you remember how it works? I use those 2 fingers to space over for that first indent. And if I run out of room, I can just wrap the text around. Now, don't forget, you don't want to drop down to the next line. You want to start your next sentence right here. And to know where that next sentence comes from, I look at my organizer. I go to this box next, and I've got to write all of my information from this, but I can do it in 3 separate sentences. Can I just write born 1810? No, I need to turn that into a sentence. I'm going to say, he was born in 1810, period. Well, if I can write he was born in 1810, what sentence would make sense for died? Could I write he died in 1895 for my next sentence? Could I write that? I think it works perfectly. So I'm going to write he died in 1895, period. Now I have where lived. Okay, you see how I have where lived? I put Pennsylvania. How could I turn that into a sentence? I guess I could write he lived in Pennsylvania. I'm just using he. I'm not getting really fancy with my sentences at this point. I just want to get my ideas down. I'm capitalizing Pennsylvania because it's a special place. And I'm going to put a hyphen here because I'm out of space. Vania, period. All right, now I'm going to the next box, which is over here. This is our step number 3, what they invented. Well, I just wrote toilet paper. Can I just write toilet paper? Is that a complete sentence? No. Wait a second. Could I write he invented toilet paper? I think that would work. So I'm going to write he invented toilet paper. Period. Now I'm ready to go on to my bottom corner box, number 4. How did the invention change the world? Now this one I wrote an idea, and it is a better way to clean yourself than using wood or pine cones. I think that I could use that as my sentence. I think that's a pretty good sentence. So I'm going to write, it is a better way to clean yourself than wood or pine cones. Or who knows what else people were using to clean themselves. So now it's time to go to the wrap up sentence. And remember, this is always our last sentence. So I wrote, I think toilet paper was a great invention. This is a good place for a I think statement. And it's this last box here. And I'm going to copy that sentence because I made a good I think statement. So I'm going to write, I think toilet paper is a great invention. Now look, I'm copying that directly off my organizer because I wrote a complete sentence on my organizer here. If you didn't write a complete sentence, you'll need to turn it into a complete sentence to write the rest. Now, super duper important. We got to go back through and do our underlining and circling, right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle all my capital letters. Now we're into the editing process. I just wrote my first draft. This is what our first sloppy copy looks like. Now we're going to do our editing. And we've got to make sure we have capital letters on special names of people, their first and last, special names of places. We've got to make sure we have a period or some type of punctuation at the end of every sentence. So I'm going to go through and circle my capitals first. And remember, I'm not really reading the paper here. I'm just looking for capitals. I want to make sure, ooh, there's Pennsylvania, that had a capital. Good job, I remembered that. Okay, now I need to underline all of the ending punctuation, all right? There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. And there's one. Great. Okay. Now that I've looked for my capital letters and my punctuation, it's time for me to read my writing. And it's time for me to really think about, does everything make sense? Do my sentences start with capitals, and do they end with periods? Now, here we go. Joseph C. Gaiety invented toilet paper. Started with a capital, his name has capitals, and he has ending punctuation. That's good. Now I have a capital to start my next sentence. That's good too. He was born in 1810, and I put a period. That's good. Oh, and I started with a capital again. Great. He died in 1895. Ended with a period. Circled my capital, period to capital always. Very good. Lived in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania is a special home, so I have to, it's a special place, so I have to circle it. It's actually a state. I ended with a period. Oop, after a period always comes a capital. He invented toilet paper, period. Started with a capital again. Good, I see that pattern. Period, then always start with a capital. It is a better way to clean yourself than wood or pine cones. Yes. Ends the period. Oops, starts the capital. Great job, me. And I think toilet paper is a great invention. So that's basically the process. After you've edited it and it reads the way you want it to read, then you can write it a final draft. And if you want to take a picture of it and send it to me, I can share some of them online if you have them done by next week. Also, we have a joke day coming up, so if you want to write a joke, that's good too. We can also put those online for you guys to read. All right. Thank you for watching my mini writing lesson, and have a great day. Thanks, guys.